Small little video here. So Azeroth at War has put up another poll. They've done this before in the past just to gauge how people feel about a certain topic or not. I normally don't do videos on the polls themselves, but I figured this one was an interesting topic to go over. Now, I know the topic. I haven't actually read the questions yet. I just know the topic because of behind the scenes stuff and because I'm reading everybody on fire in the chat. So, let's go through the questions together and kind of deep dive on the topic itself. So, would you like to see hardcore with purely cosmetic rewards implemented on this server? So that really depends. So, hardcore mode itself is not really a bad idea. I think having that element of danger is a good thing for a server, for the world, all that kind of stuff, just on principle of what it is, right? The only issue with it is that in order to prevent cheating, there's a lot of rules behind you cannot group with other players if they're not hardcore mode. You can't do this, you can't do that, can't do this. And I get it, I completely get it, but when you cannot group with other players, that's what kind of makes it, it divides the community a lot. So I would say if you're a hardcore player, like, allow them to group with other players, but not let them group with someone who's, let's say, 10 levels or higher, because if they're like 5 levels or higher, it's not really going to be that big of an issue. Then not really, because if you could be 5 levels higher than an enemy, and they can still kick your ass depending on the enemy, if you're overwhelmed or something, so it could still be risky. And even then, if a non-hardcore mode player joins in a hardcore group and they try sabotaging it, well, that's the risk you took on. So I think there are compromises to make it work, but I'm gonna say I don't care, because I don't really care if it is in or not. If it is, I'll check it out, I'll play it. If not, I'm not gonna cry, but I'm gonna say I don't care. But I gave you both the positives and the negatives, so you let me know how you feel about hardcore mode. Now, this next one. What do you think about removing the TBC Draenei retcon and starting over from where Classic and Warcraft 3 left off with this race? Keep in mind this would only mean the Draenei race we currently have, and they would be replaced by the Broken, and which would free a spot for the Alliance. So basically what that means is, I don't quite remember the details behind the retconning of what the Draenei are, other than we knew the Draenei as what they were, as what we call now Broken, which you see, well, not really, they were more of the forgotten ones or lost ones or whatever they called, because you see them in what they call the Swamp of Sorrows area, and you see them in Blasted Lands, so they are there. And I think they're actually in Warcraft 3 as well, so they are there. They were just called Broken, but then they were changed names to be Lost Ones or Forgotten Ones or whatever they're called. The Broken became the more median one, and then we had Draenei, which were what we saw as Archimonde, because Archimonde happened to be the same race as those little creatures we saw. It's like, oh wow, what? So that's where the retcon happened, and Chris Metzen actually came out and did a whole thread back in the day on that. He's like, yeah, I kind of fucked up there, but you know what? It is what it is. We'll just have to make it work and move on from there. And whatever, you know, it wasn't that big of an issue to me. But I think, as it's presented, we are going to be keeping the Broken as a race. So not the little weird creatures, the Broken as in the median ones like a Kama. We are going to be able to have them as playable races, and they are going to be staying. However, the question is, would you want the Draenei to be replaced with another race? I'm going to say yes, because we still have the Broken for that lore, right? But we can explore more of the Broken instead of the Draenei, and we can have another race, which there's only a limited amount of spots for the races. So having an additional race that's new and unique to this server is always a benefit, because everyone goes with goblins, everyone goes with high elves, but Who goes with Broken? Very few. Who goes with Naga? None. Well, you know, except for Hero WoW or whatever that one server was called back in the day with Rykul and all those other servers. Besides that one, who else goes with that? Who else goes with Furball? Who else goes with Murlocs besides Revelation WoW? They don't count. So you know what I'm saying? So having another unique race would be beneficial for this server. Now let's go to there's only 2 more left. Would you be fine with a dungeon finder only for grouping people, not for teleporting people? I'm going to say yes, because it's the teleporting that a lot of people have issue with, because if it helps you find a group like it does with Turtle WoW still has that vanilla feel. It doesn't have the retail mentality of other servers that have the teleportation. Like, I've played servers like Ascension with that instant teleport, and yeah, there's more involved in it than just the teleporting, but almost every server, everything that I've played, even Duskhaven that has the teleporting, they all have that retail mentality of go, rush, oh, you died once, or you can't do this properly, I'm just gonna leave and find a new group because I can just teleport right back into it. So when you have to devote your time, find a group, walk to the dungeon, prepare, all this other stuff, and make sure you're good to go, that adds a level of responsibility where now you have an investment. Now you have to finish, or else you're gonna have to do all that over again. The group finding just kind of helps with the spamming. You don't have to spam looking for group, looking for group, looking for group, like every 10 seconds, right? So really all that does is help with the spam. Everything else would still be the same. So I'm completely okay with that, and it worked on Turtle WoW, it could work here. And then the last one is, do you agree with Warzone's concept? Check the announcement for further details. So let's actually didn't know if they were going to have it here or not. So here is the announcement. The Warzone concept. The player base will, I'm sorry, let me restart that. The player base we have here is very diverse, from PvP, roleplay, and PvE, and we would like to keep all of you as happy as possible, which is impossible, but you could do your best shot at it. During the last beta, many of you complained about griefing, so we came up with War Zones. What are War Zones? War Zones are zones that will be shuffled weekly, with PvP constantly being forced and a 30% bonus for experience while leveling. All other zones will be turned to neutral or territorial. This way, both people who would like to experience world PvP and those who want to level or roleplay in peace will be free to do so. Keep in mind that this is just a concept, however, we would like to hear your opinions. So basically, instead of having a war mode, where everyone who turns on war mode can just go ham at each other no matter where they are, this would enforce a PvP zone in terms of, having, let's say, Hillsbrad 1 week would be PvE. Next week, it would be turned on for PvP, and anything you do in Hillsbrad would get you 30% more experience. But because Vanilla WoW is so great as to have 4 to 6 different, like, leveling zones per level bracket, you don't have to go to Hillsbrad. You can go to frickin' Thousand Needles or Stranglethorn Vale and level there instead. There's also the Wetlands. Is it Wetlands? Yeah, Wetlands is the same level bracket. So yeah, you could go to other zones easy. And because this is not a ×1 vanilla experience rate, you don't have to do every single zone to level. You only have to do 1, maybe 2 in order to get to the next level bracket. So it will be completely fine, in my opinion, and it could be explored upon that maybe when it phases into the PvP, there could be even more PvP objectives that would not be available during the PvE week. So maybe Hillsbrad in the PvE week would just be normal as it is. During the PvP week, you still have your normal stuff, but then you have siege engines from both Terran Mail and South Shore. In the middle, you have NPCs running at each other. There could be PvP objectives to kill players or kill the NPCs if you want to do some of the PvE stuff. Maybe to gather stuff to help supply with food. Like, there could be, like, turn it into like an Alteric Valley kind of thing, you know what I mean? And that could be turned off the next week, and then after a couple of weeks when it cycles over again, turns back on. So it's not going to be all the time. It would only be all the time for that 1 week, and then it shuffles. And from what I've been told, it would happen for 6 zones per week, 1 per level bracket. So 1 for the level like 10 to 20 bracket, 20 to 30 bracket, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, so 10 to 60, so like 5 to 6 zones per level for the world. So it's not going to be just one zone you can go to. There will be a multitude of zones you can go to. The only issue with that is if it's Barons, for an example, you're going to have a lot of 60s coming and griefing lower level characters when the intention is for it to be the level 20 battleground zone. But it is what it is. It's going to happen. I mean, it happens in world PvP on just a normal PvP zone anyway. So, and that encourages more people to be like, all right, we need more help over at Barons. No, we need help over at Wetlands. Stuff like that. So, it is what it is. But I'm going to say yes because of the potential for what it could be beyond what's just the base bone, like bare bones concept of it. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to submit that. Let me know what you guys think for all the 4 questions. What did you vote for the questions and your ideas and opinions? And I will see you guys next time.